Welcome to Building the $1 Billion Business, the podcast where we dive deep into the strategies, insights, and stories behind the world's most successful financial advisors and introduce content and actionable ideas to fuel your growth. Together, we'll unlock the methods, tactics, and mindset shifts that set the top 1% apart from the rest. I'm Ray Sclafani, and I'll be your host. You don't need more clients, you need the right ones. In today's hyper-competitive landscape, advisory firms aren't losing ground because they lack leads. They're losing it because they lack clarity. Clarity on who they serve best, clarity on who drains resources, clarity on who should never have made it past the prospective client stage. In today's episode, I want to get clear about your ideal client type. You're either going to get clear or get left behind. It's no longer optional to focus everywhere. I want to dive into one of the most overlooked growth accelerators in our industry. If you want to drive smarter, faster, and more sustainable growth, it starts with precision. You know, in Mark Hurley's white paper, Welcome to the Jungle, he described a future advisory marketplace saturated with firms that all look, sound, and feel the same. The problem? Most still do. In this jungle, he describes, the generalist advisor gets lost. The specialist, with their clearly defined ideal client type, stands out. Back when I first wrote about this at ClientWise, we called it a targeted demographic. Today, it's more than that. It's your differentiation strategy. It's your capacity filter. And it's ultimately your growth engine. Let's ground this concept of ideal client profile in some current data. According to 2024 research from Cerulli, 70% of high-performing teams use ideal client profiling as part of their annual strategy reviews. These firms report 40% higher revenue per advisor, and they acquire new clients at a rate 2 times faster than their peers. Why? Because clarity is magnetic. It makes referrals sharper. It makes marketing easier. It amplifies your message in the marketplace and makes your team more effective because they know who they're working for. Here's a modern take on 5 steps we've long coached to, and I've refreshed it for today. First and foremost, start with your favorites. Who are your top clients? Those you genuinely enjoy, who energize your team, and who value your advice. What commonalities do they share? The company they work for, their career path, their family dynamics, their asset complexity or life transition, life phase. Examples we still see today, tech executives with equity comp packages, retired entrepreneurs transitioning to legacy planning, multi-generational families with governance needs, women navigating widowhood or divorce with substantial assets. All of these are examples of a niche, and within that niche, your ideal client profile. Go deeper than the surface needs. Document both the obvious and unspoken needs. What do they ask for? When you meet with a prospective client in this space that you're focused on, what are they looking to solve? But also, what do you know that they really need to focus on that they don't know yet because your value creation lands right there? Think clarity, confidence, peace of mind, coordination among advisors, some technical aspect of when to exercise those stock options, something that they don't know really how to do well, where your firm could add value. That's the known and unknown needs. Next, align your value to their needs. So what are you ultimately positioned to solve for the group? How are your solutions, that could be not just products and services, but your process, your team, the tools, things that you've built for them to be of service in a unique and differentiating way. There's real value creation right there. Next, map out their network of influence. Who are their other trusted advisors? Build those reciprocal relationships, not just with the estate attorney and CPA, but go deeper. Business valuation specialists, business brokers, bankers, anybody who serves that same niche. And next, customize your messaging. Generic marketing is a total growth killer. Speak directly to that ideal client in your messaging. The more specific you are, the more they feel seen, and the more your brand cuts through the clutter. You'll actually alienate a bunch of people who really don't find your message resonating. But for the ones that do, you'll really stand out. Here's what we know. Advisors who zero in on their ideal client type tend to grow not just faster, but smarter. They add fewer, better clients. They retain top talent. They spend less time firefighting and more time relationship building. As your firm evolves, so should your ideal client profile. I would revisit it quarterly, refine it annually, and use it as a filter for every growth decision you make. It'll shape how you invest capital for the future. It'll also involve your next generation leaders. If they have a voice in the process of defining the ideal client profile, you know you'll build a firm with sustainable growth initiatives. With each episode, consider these coaching questions. They're excellent for your team or your leadership group. First, how would our growth trajectory change if we focused exclusively on acquiring clients who were on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 9 or a 10 in both fit and alignment with our value proposition? Second, what new solutions or services or processes or partnerships could we develop if we double down on the unique needs, both known and unknown, of our most ideal client type? And lastly, in what ways can we equip every team member to recognize, attract, and be of service to this ideal client more effectively over the next 12 to 24 months? Well, thanks for tuning in, and that's a wrap. Until next time, this is Ray Sclafani. Keep building, growing, and striving for greatness. Together, we'll redefine what's possible in the world of wealth management. Be sure to check back for our latest episode and article.